Guys, welcome back to Quick Notes with Chris. Today we're going to be continuing our series on the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John C. Maxwell. Today we're going to be talking about number 20. We're 2 away from finishing, and this one is the law of explosive growth. So if you want to develop explosive growth within your business, within your organization, or if you personally feel as if maybe you've hit a limit whenever it comes to expanding your profits or so on and so on and so on, this quote and this law is probably one of the most important that you can actually do. I think it's one of my favorite quotes, only second to the law of solid ground. So without further ado, I'm going to talk about it. If you are struggling, I'd highly suggest you literally look towards applying this within your business, applying it towards yourself, your sport, your ministry, whatever it is that you're looking towards, your relationship, and it will definitely get the best out of you, your organization, and overall will definitely help you profit. The first one, to add growth, lead followers, to multiply. You want to lead the leaders. So many people look towards developing their followers, their fan bases, increasing the people that are listening to them, rather than increase the leaders. See, obviously it makes so much more sense. Multiplication will always get a better result than addition. Well, that's what leaders do. If you want to develop leaders, you multiply the followers versus just constantly adding followers. Now, if you develop yourself, you can certainly experience personal success. If you want small scale, small business, if you want to make 6 figures to even maybe in a few million, it's very, very easily in order to develop yourself in order to that type of person. It's very simple. Now, if you want to keep it, if you want to grow a team, then your organization can definitely experience explosive growth. You can utilize that through just genuine personal development, genuine reproduction issues and stuff like that. But if you want to look towards completely taking a hold on the law of explosive growth, you want to look towards developing leaders. Your organization can achieve explosive growth through developing leaders. You multiply at that point. Think about it. How many times would it be great, or if you've thought, if you run your own business or you've been working with other people, that you thought, imagine if there was just 2 of me. Well, that's what you want to look towards accomplishing, except rather than 2, maybe 6, or who knows. So many people look towards finding the leaders versus developing themselves, when realistically you should aim towards doing both. When you do this, you look towards multiplying your organization. This is the biggest problem that I see whenever I see larger companies or larger branches. How do you expect regional branches or businesses that are genuinely out of your, overall stay or suburb in order to grow and continue to expand or make a profit if you've built a business that has become 100% reliant on you being there? Well, the answer is that you can't. Your expansion process completely relies on having a good leader in place. In order to have a good leader, that basically means an individual who can substitute your decision making, substitute your motivational speeches, substitute your disciplined decisions, your priorities, and so on and so on and so on, without you being there. And the only way to achieve that is literally by sacrificing more of your time looking towards developing someone else. Good leaders let the same of the followers, right? Good leaders lead for the sake of the followers and for what they can leave behind after their time of leadership is done. That's what you want to look towards accomplishing. You want to be a leader who's understanding that eventually you're going to retire. Now, are you going to retire based on age, or are you going to retire based on mindset? Either way, no matter what, the way that you do that and do it effectively is by looking towards developing other leaders. I see so many people who run into the same problem. They have a lack of trust in other people. They want to make sure that they're at every single meeting, and they only delegate what they know people can do, which is obviously how you want to do it. Don't get me wrong. But when it comes to that, talking about that 20% of 80% of your revenue, so 20% of your priorities that take up 80% of your business's revenue, those types of decisions, if you don't develop someone to be able to be at those meetings, make those choices, make the difficult decisions, whether it's motivating and so on and so on and so on, you're always going to be restricted by your own personal presence. And that's tough, because every now and again, circumstances come up. Circumstances occur to everyone where for some reason you can't be at the meetings that you booked that day. You can't be motivating the people that you were supposed to be that day. And you have to basically substitute and delegate to someone who isn't prepared. And because of that, mistakes occur in the business. You end up making huge drawbacks, there's certain regression, and a large amount of profits can potentially be lost. It's been documented. The only way to ensure that this doesn't happen is by looking towards developing an individual whose goal is to literally surpass you. If that is your goal, to develop someone that hopefully, eventually, if you do it correctly and with the right person at the right times, you would have experienced the laws of explosive growth. Just think for a minute. If you're a driven, highly looking towards the law of victory type of person, someone who's very focused on wit mentality, whatever it takes, and is a pure winner, imagine if there was 6 of you, and you guys all had an aligned agenda and goal or vision that you're looking towards achieving. You could literally do anything. Well, that's what everybody hopes for. But the truth is, it doesn't just happen. You need to develop it. You find the natural leaders and develop those, and you work on developing the followers into leaders. See, all great leaders were once intelligent followers. So there are out there. You just have to look towards developing those people and put them onto responsible leadership types positions that you can consistently mentor through this process. Then and only then are you going to be able to experience the true fruits of your labor, where you actually can look towards retiring at an earlier age rather than a forceful age. Okay, and that's what really the goal is. It's to basically be able to achieve that you're looking towards at the end of the life. Right? And whatever it is, the long term, the short term, no matter what, if you can have people who are able, well equipped to run the company that you're developing, whether it's an organization or a small business, it was a win-win for everyone. Now, you may be thinking, oh, but I'm going to sacrifice your profits. No, that is not true at all. If you're able to have a level of leadership between a certain amount of people, then you have the ability to expand your business. Look at McDonald's. Ray Kroc looked towards creating other franchisees, other business owners who are able to develop their own franchises. Now, yes, certain people may profit more than others, but at the end of the day, he's created so many millionaires because of being able to utilize the law of explosive growth. Now, that's a very modern day example and a very specific, but there are so many other extreme examples of it actually working day to day. I see so many people making the mistake of starting businesses where they put their name on the front. And that basically means that majority of your customers and clients are going to be forced to only want to see you in order to get the product or service because you've developed it that way. I highly suggest whenever you start a business, in order to stop utilizing this, to be able to utilize the law of explosive growth in the future, you stay away becoming a face of the business and rather make the product or service the face of the business. For example, Apple is Apple. That is its company. Steve Jobs may have been the CEO, but he wasn't the face of the company in terms of he needed to be there in order to sell it. Now, they were able to essentially, when he passed away, utilize different positions, fill his positions, and make sure that they didn't run into the same mistake again. They have heads of different departments to ensure that all these multiple people can be utilized as faces of the company so that if that ever, detrimental part ever happens again, they've learned from their mistakes and they're able to basically cycle through the different leadership. Well, that's what you want to be able to do. Now, if one of the largest companies in the world is able to do that, then why aren't you trying to replicate that within your business? Well, the answer is you should. Whether it's Disney, whether it's Tesla, no matter what, you name it, whenever Elon Musk works on a company, he looks towards developing it up and then passing the leadership onto someone else. He then moves on to the next project and builds up the company and leads it onto someone else. That's literally him utilizing the law of explosive growth. He's building businesses and trusting in leaders in order to basically continually profit while developing his personal network. There's a reason why he's a billionaire. And it's because of this law right here. Now, you have to make sure that you invest in the correct people. And this is why I do think that the law of solid ground takes precedent over this one. In fact, it's arguably the most important. Because you don't know who it is that will become your enemy or backstab you. So it's very important that when you're choosing the people that you are putting in leadership positions, they are individuals with invested financial interests. There has to be a level of trust inside. It has to benefit both parties. Both parties have to be basically deterred from making any ill will towards each other. Then and only then will you be able to truly experience the law of explosive growth. So how can regional businesses look towards basically being successful without it? Well, this is the way that they do it. You have to put your trust in other people at some point. It's either going to happen when you look towards retiring, whether you pass it on to your kids, or you can do it decades before. In fact, I would argue that the only way that you're going to get to that level where your business will be thriving for so many years is if you utilize the law of explosive growth. Look towards reproducing yourself through your personal leaders. Then and only then will you be able to experience an organization that is not bound by certain places. It's not bound by certain time. It's restricted to the people that are working for you versus an individual area. And then you can literally continuously grow and follow that philosophy all the way until the end of the night, and then hopefully everyone will be millionaires by the end of it. Or whether it's anything. I mean, everybody does practice the law of explosive growth to some degree. If you've ever had kids, that's what you're looking towards doing. Developing these people who are going to be better, if not better than you. So that's what you want to look towards doing anyway. We'll duplicate those same philosophies, those same principles within your business. Just don't wait 18, don't wait 20 years to do it with your own children. Look towards developing it with your own leaders that you have in your organization. Then you can actually experience success earlier rather than later. Anyways, guys, that's it for law number 20 on the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. That was law of explosive growth. This is probably my second favorite quote and law by John C. Maxwell, so I highly suggest you definitely read into it, do a little bit more research, find out, pick and choose certain aspects that you definitely want to apply into your business so that you can consistently look towards striving for a better position for success. But I highly suggest you don't stop there. There are a few more videos on the channel I definitely think you should check out. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks, guys.